everyone, Sabrina here from Scrappy Tales Crafts. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be creating two A7 pop-up mugs using this new die set by Scrappy Tales. I will show you all of the pieces that I die cut in a second here, but first I'm going to show you all the products that I ended up using for today's video. I did pull in the new Valentine mug add-on for one of my mugs today. And then also the desserts die set. I ended up only using a donut from this set, but there's also cakes, cookies, macarons, and a croissant included in that set, so you can dress up your mugs with different sweets. And for my second mug, I'm going to be using last year's stamp set called Sweet Bear, along with the coordinating dies. I did stamp and color that bear off camera because I have showed how to color him in a previous video that I will link to if you want to check that out. From the A7 pop-up mug die set, I cut one of the large rectangles, which is the largest die in that set, from pink pattern paper. I cut both of the bridges from heavyweight white cardstock, and then that centerpiece, that large rectangle over to the right, I cut twice from lightweight white cardstock. I cut my mug handles twice from the same pattern paper. One of them I die cut backwards to make sure that they would line up together. You don't have to do that, you can just cut it out once, but I wanted it to be substantial because most people will probably grab the mug by the handle. I also die cut the plate from the same pattern paper, and that smaller circle from some craft cardstock, that's actually going to be the coffee of my mug. From the Valentine add-on, I die cut the doily from red cardstock, and then also the Be My Valentine sentiment, which I die cut 3 times from heavyweight white cardstock. These are very dainty little sentiments, so I felt tripling them up was going to make them much more substantial, and I will glue these onto the plate of the mug. Included in that set is an I love you sentiment as well, so you can use that instead. I cut the steam that's in the shape of the heart twice from white cardstock, once from gray. I also die cut the stirrer, the spoon, and the straw. Some of those I cut from pattern paper, and the spoon I die cut from gold cardstock. I die cut the swirly steam from gray and white cardstock, and then just that little heart that's included in the set as well, and some coffee beans from craft cardstock. I like to show you all of my die cuttings so that you know exactly what I used from each set, because our sets are quite large. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. And then from the desserts die set, like I said, I just went with a single donut, but there's plenty of options to choose from. I really love the cookies. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get started assembling our mug. I'm going to start by gluing my doily onto my plate, and both the doily and the plate has a score line, a slit down the center, and 2 slits on the side. So when you glue the doily on top of the plate, make sure that those slits line up with each other. That way we can glue our inner piece through the slits. So here I have that large rectangle piece. I have it die cut twice from lightweight cardstock. I use lightweight because I'm going to glue them back to back and they become heavyweight. So I don't want it to be too thick or else it won't fit through the slits. So here you can see I glued them back to back, and then there's 2 tabs at the bottom that I'm going to feed through that center slit on the plate, and then I will kind of butterfly them in the back and glue them to the plate on either side of the slit. You might want to use strong double-sided tape for this, but I just went with my glue and held it down for a couple seconds. And then using the 2 bridges from that die set, you're going to feed those through the smaller slits on either side of the middle one. And those bridges just have a 1/2-inch tab on either side, so you can glue one inside the slit and just glue that 1/2-inch tab to the bottom of the plate. And that's pretty much it. It's very simple. Then you're going to take your coffee piece and take that center tab and push it through the center slit of the coffee. You can glue those tabs if you want. I usually don't, but if you want it to be easier to stick it in, you can do that. And then I'm going to glue those 1/2-inch tabs on the bridges and adhere them underneath the coffee. And that's pretty much it. Those bridges are what's going to move the card up and down and have it fold flat. So you're going to want to make sure that those bridges are nice heavyweight cardstock. But otherwise, it's pretty easy to assemble. Then you're going to add the actual sleeve around the cup. So what I like to do is add strong double-sided tape to the top half of each of those bridges. I just found that it moves easier. So I don't go all the way down the bridge, just about halfway to the top. I'm also going to add some glue along with the tape so that I have some wiggle room if I need to shift my sleeve a bit. So I did add some double-sided tape to the 1/2-inch tab on that sleeve. And then all you do is just wrap it around the bridges. And because I added glue, I was able to shift it around a little bit. And you're going to want to make sure that there's some space on either side. That way your coffee can fold downwards. If it's too tight, it's not going to go down. So you can see on the left and right, I have some open space. And that's totally fine. So now I have my mug handles. I did glue them back to back, and I'm just going to adhere them to the left side of my mug here. There are tabs where you can glue. You can also, if you kind of get the hang of the sleeve, wrapping it around, you can also tuck the handle inside with the sleeve so that you don't see the tabs at all. I just decided to glue it directly onto the sleeve. So now I'm going to assemble my donut. I cut the frosting from craft cardstock, and behind it I'm going to add some darker brown so that it looks like a chocolate donut. And then I cut the base of the donut from some cream cardstock to create a cute little chocolate donut. I am going to add 2 layers of heavyweight white cardstock behind this just to make it more substantial. You definitely don't have to do this. And because my handle is on the left, I thought I would add the donut to the right to kind of balance it out. And I just glued the corner of it directly to the mug. And then I'll work on my sentiment because that's also going to go on the plate. And I, like I said, triple layered that. The actual A7 pop-up mug does also include some sentiments that say hug in a mug or sending a hug in a mug and thanks a latte. So if you don't have that Valentine add-on, you can still create a cute little sentiment for the bottom of your plate. But since Valentine's Day is coming, I thought I would use this one. And so that's how that looks. Really cute, especially with the doily. I thought I would add a nice large bow to my cup. And this bow is included in the new chocolate heart-shaped box die set. And I went ahead and die cut it once from heavyweight white cardstock and pink glitter cardstock. And I'm just going to glue that to the top of the mug. And then I'm going to work on the top of the mug. So I have my steam, which I die cut twice from white, once from gray. I did add 1 white die cut behind my gray just to make that more heavy. And I'm going to offset them together and glue them to that tab that's sticking out the top. Now, I end up adding a heart to cover that tab completely. But if you don't want to cover it, you can die cut that centerpiece from craft cardstock so it blends in with the coffee more. but most of the time I end up just completely covering it. So here I have my spoon. I'm going to add 3 white die cuts behind it and 1 gold. And I'm going to glue this next to my donut. I thought that was a cute spot for it. You can also glue it flat on the plate if you want. Or you can add it into the coffee. Okay, and then I have a stirrer. I think that's what they're called. Again, I'm going to add 2 white die cuts behind my pattern paper one. And I just used scraps of cardstock for this. I'm going to add some gold behind the little heart. And then I'm also going to add the straw with it. Again, 2 white layers and then 1 solid pattern paper layer. I will glue them together, and then using a lot of glue, I'm just going to glue them right to the card base. In another video, I will show how to add more slits to that coffee piece if you want to stick more items in the front, but you don't necessarily have to do that. Because you can also glue things to the front or the back part of the front of the mug, which you'll see I do here. I did go ahead and add a gold heart to that tab in the center. And then here I have my swirly steams. I thought it would be cute to add some more heart die cuts to them. These little hearts are included in the new intricate heart, or no, not intricate, the scallop heart add-on. There's a bunch of small, tiny hearts that I think are perfect for filling these mugs with. So some of the steam I'm layering with white die cuts behind just to make them more substantial. And you can see that I'm gluing them to the sleeve of the mug. You can do this to the front and to the back, but I think I only did it to the front. On some of the steams, I'm adding die cut hearts. I'm going to add one to the large steam in the middle there. And if you don't want to add the steam, you can pop up your little hearts with clear packaging, which you've seen me do quite a lot with our other pop-up dies, and I will do that with the second mug I'm going to show you. But in this case, I thought the swirls were nice to add those heart die cuts. So I'm also going to add a few directly to the mug itself. And then that's pretty much going to complete my first card. I actually do think I end up adding a chocolate to the left side, and my camera stopped filming. So here you can see I used our new chocolate truffles die set to make a heart-shaped chocolate over to the left side just to kind of balance it off. It was really heavy over to the right with the donut and the spoon. So that little chocolate, I think, added a cute touch of brown to the card. And then here I just showed you how it folds flat and then it just pops right into place. It is such a cute little card. I love that it folds, or it stays completely flat on a table. So here I made another mug off camera, and I went ahead and die cut and colored my stamped images. I used every stamp image from that 4x6 stamp set. I'm of course going to glue the bear right to the center tab, which is going to completely cover it. And then I will add the balloons to the back of the mug. Some of them I will glue behind the bear. That one with the lips is going to be glued to the back of the mug. So by gluing your die cuts to the front and back of the mug, you can get some nice dimension, and you can really make the top part of your mug super full. You can go outside of the mug. You're just going to want to make sure that your die cuts don't exceed past the barrier of the plate. Otherwise, it won't fit in an A7 envelope. But you'll see that both of my cards today are very full. and both of them do fit well inside an A7 envelope. From that same stamp set, I stamped out the sentiment, just a little reminder that you are loved, on white cardstock, and I fussy cut around it. I added a sparkly red bow above the sentiment, again, which I die cut once from white, once from the red glitter. I also added the box of chocolate stamp to the bottom of the mug, and here I'm adding my leftover swirly steam. And now I'm going to add some hearts in front of the bear. So I have my clear acrylic sticks. I have used these on almost all of my pop-up tutorials. They're great because they're see-through. They're not super noticeable. You can use cardstock instead, or acetate, because these hearts are very lightweight because they're so tiny. You can also use clear packaging and recycle. So I added some of those clear sticks to the front of my mug with some hearts attached to them. I'm also going to add some die cut hearts to my balloons and to my swirls. I added a few hearts to the plate. Here I'll add another popped up heart. Just filling in the space until I'm happy with the amount of volume that I have. And this is looking super cute. And I love using pattern paper for the base of the mug. I think it just adds some cute pattern and interest. But you'll see in some future tutorials, I'll just use some simple colored cardstock for my mug. It's a great way to use up your 12 by 12 pattern paper. I decided to pop up my glittery hearts on the plate. This is actually like triple layer foam tape. It's super thick. And it's by Uline. I will have it linked down below. I'll have all the products I used linked down below. I also have close-up pictures over on my coordinating blog. And then I have my little coffee beans here that I'm going to glue completely flat onto the plate. And then that's pretty much going to complete my second card design. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And if you haven't yet already, please subscribe to the Scrappy Tales channel. We're so close to 5,000 subscribers. Here's that first card I made. I love those big, gigantic bows. Just fills the card really nicely. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. It is my birthday today, so that's fun. And I will see you next time. Bye.